Hey, Chris Jude, the Glamping guy. I'm here on my walk with Domino. My deep thought with Domino has to do with violation officers. I have enforcement officers in my planning department, building department, health department, and so on and so forth. Most of them, 90% of the time, they are very kind, very helpful. Even when I found myself to be in violation or out of compliance, they've been helpful in getting me into compliance. I like to say when I get dinged, I just make sure I get undinged. An enforcement officer should be like a good cop. You know, they want you to slow down when you're speeding. They really are more interested, they should be more interested in correcting you than they are to, you know, making an example out of you.
As soon as the rain stops, I'm gonna make an example of you.
However, what should you do when they are a jerk? When they do kind of flex their enforcement muscles and are somewhat obnoxious. This did happen to me a little bit ago, and I'm glad how it turned out. But this enforcement officer, I felt, went out of his boundary.
Look, I watch a lot of cop shows on TV.
Let me explain the situation to you a little bit. I had thought I had authority to put a tiny home on my property, and it turned out I didn't. It became kind of a mess. We ended up getting it resolved, which is good. You can look back at the videos. I have kind of a series of videos on that. But one particular thing happened was when the enforcement officer emailed me. He said, look, you're putting a tiny home in the middle of a residential neighborhood. You can't do that. Now, what would you do in that situation? A glamping owner might get very upset because he was wrong on that. And when an enforcement officer is wrong, one of the things that I think glamping operators do is they get ticked off.
So I am really ticked off.
They start accusing and they start getting angry. For one, it was not in the middle of a residential property. And for two, I had a special use that gave me the authority and to do that. Even though I missed some steps along the way, I wasn't doing things egregiously and clumsily. It was a very planned process that I was following.
I have a permit.
Now, the thought did occur to me to go ahead and return that email or return back to him and correct him. I chose not to. Actually, I chose to ignore him. In fact, I went above his head and talked to my lawyer first.
You ain't talking to this guy. I want a lawyer.
My lawyer talked to his director. I had a meeting with his immediate manager, as well as the two planners. I haven't gotten a letter back from him. So my point is this, for all those glamping owners out there who might get a letter or get a little crabby enforcement officer.
Rest in pieces.
Stay the course. Don't get angry. Don't get accusatory. Don't lash out. Keep in mind what you want to do is develop a safe, legal, and profitable glamping operation on your property. So don't let that officer get you down and steer you off that course.
Stay the course.
You don't have to win the day and win the argument. You got to win the war. You got to get that glamping operation up on your private property and start making the kind of money I'm making. Because really, when you arrive at that moment where you're making a safe, legal, and profitable glamping operation like I have here at Monument Glamping, oh, life is good. Life is really good. And glamping becomes fun again. So that's how I responded. I hope this helps you in your glamping operation. If it does, go ahead and click like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'd love to get to know you, to know the operation that you're doing, and continue to help glamping operators in America as well as around the world. So we'll see you next time.